Disclaimer. This video's information is being provided for informational, educational, and general interest purposes only. The information in this video is not intended to shock, enrage, or otherwise provoke the viewer. The sole purpose of this video was to raise awareness of true crime-related events. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
How long ago did you find this child?
It's about an hour and a half. I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I could do. And they said, wait till they're here to call, the police and get that going. Basically, it got to the point where I was waiting so long, I just kind of went ahead and did it anyway. And they're almost here. So I was waiting on legal counsel.
So you found the child an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
And called your lawyer first, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other children in the home right now?
Yeah. Because I didn't know if I was supposed to call the police or not. I had no idea what to do.
Okay. We will send someone out. We're going to investigate.
Sure.
When was the last time you had contact with a child?
Last night, yesterday afternoon, about 3 p.m. She goes to bed, and that was that.
Okay, so you put her to bed yesterday at 3 p.m.?
Yeah, and then this morning at 10 something, we finally went in to check on her. Like, okay, it's been way too long, so She comes long all the time normally, so.
So you're saying it is normal for your children to sleep from around 3 p.m. till 10 a.m.?
Usually about 9:30, yeah. So.
They sleep from 3 p.m. to... I'm just typing in a couple things here.
Sure.
What time do they usually have dinner?
Oh, well, that's in my instance. They're not all, they don't all kind of run on the schedule, but she basically eats and, she's up for a half hour after that, and then she goes down for bed.
Okay. And how old are the other children?
4 and 2.
There's 2 other children?
Yep.
And they're at home right now, right?
Yep.
And you said when you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right?
Yes.
And that's when you consulted with a lawyer?
Yep.
Do you believe she was beyond help already?
Oh, yeah. She was dead as a door now.
What's your emergency?
When did she start losing all that weight?
The past 2 days.
But she's lost so much weight that you can't lose that much in 2 days. I've never seen a child that skinny. Never.
It was a case that shocked the country. In August of 2018, a Kent County couple was charged with the murder for the death of their 9-month-old daughter. Police say they found the young girl's body neglected and severely malnourished.
Her parents were convicted in her death, but have filed appeal after appeal to have their cases re-examined. This week, the father received news from Michigan Supreme Court. Our Michael Martin has the latest. All new tonight at 6. Michael.
Max Janis, Seth Welch, and Tatiana Fusari currently both sitting behind bars, each convicted in separate trials for their daughter Mary's death. Now this week, Welch was denied an appeal from our state Supreme Court, and now Fox 17 is taking you deep into their case behind their convictions. Interrogation videos that we obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request show what led up to their arrests.
911. I guess I don't know if this is the right place to report this to. I'm at home and one of my children is dead.
It was early afternoon on August 2nd, 2018. Seth Welch calls 911. In a monotone drawl, he tells dispatch he has just found his 9-month-old daughter, Mary, dead in her crib.
How long ago did you find this child?
It's about an hour and a half. I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I can do.
He tells them the baby went to bed at 3 p.m. the previous day, not checking on her again until 10 a.m. the day she died.
Oh yeah, she was dead at the door now.
The hours between Mary's death and when her parents called 911 had police asking questions. The baby's mother, Tatiana Fusari, is the first to sit down with detectives.
I'm sorry for your loss. I know that obviously the last thing you want to be doing is this.
Neither mom nor dad are under arrest at this point.
I homeschool. I have my degree in early childhood
Oh, you do?
education.
Okay.
So I
Good for you.
thought I just, since being at home with the farm, I can at least give them an initial education.
They have 2 older children back at home.
Tatiana, I'm going to be quite honest with you right now, okay? One parent to another, right? And I'm going to try and control my emotions, all right? I've been to a child death investigator school, and I've seen photos and images of children that have been malnourished. And I'm telling you right now, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh no, really?
Yes.
Baby Mary weighed just 8 pounds at the time of her death.
At what point in this illness did you think there's a good chance she's going to die?
I didn't think at all that she was going to die.
How could you not think that?
Delusional.
Fusari is adamant that the child was fed every 2 to 3 hours.
She started putting on weight recently. We really started pounding the solid food down in the last month or so.
Detectives then speak with Welch.
I split out of bed and raced to the room and started.
So they're helpless, right? Like, what, you know what to do?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I could tell she was dead from looking at her.
The pair say they found their child unconscious between 9 and 10 a.m. They called Seth's parents, who are attorneys, but police, they weren't called for another 3.5 hours.
So what did you guys do during the 2 hours?
We sat there and cried.
Yeah.
Investigators gather that Mary was not taken to the doctor despite concerns over her size because of Welch's distrust of the medical industry and their religious beliefs.
Hi, baby. Hi. How you doing?
How are you?
Happy that I'm with you now.
Me too.
The next day, Seth is taken into police custody. When they are officially arraigned in the case,
it is life without parole.
They learn that they could be looking at the reality of life in prison.
Do you think you've done anything wrong? Well, like I said, there are certainly some things that I would do differently in hindsight. Nothing is keeping me up at night.
They are now spending their nights behind bars, both convicted in their respective trials.
It used to be common for kids not to make it. It's called natural selection, and it's a hard part of real life on Earth. Do you think she was part of natural selection? She's always been small. She's always... I don't know how...
And just this week, the baby's father, Seth Welch, there in the end of that video, got news from the Michigan Supreme Court. They have declined to hear his case under appeal, meaning he will remain behind bars.
Since THC was discovered in a newborn of the family's oldest child in 2014, Child Protective Services had been in touch with them. When Mary Welch passed away, she weighed just 8 pounds. Although they were aware that their daughter was underweight, the parents chose not to have her treated. the couple cited their religious beliefs as well as their mistrust of the medical establishment. 2 of the couple's 3 children had never visited a licensed doctor before Mary passed away. During the initial investigation, the county sheriff testified that the family home was unhygienic. He cited evidence of insects, mold, and vermin. The infant had chronic malnutrition, according to the physician who conducted the autopsy, which he believed was brought on by the deprivation of food and water. CPS sought to revoke the couple's parental rights after Mary passed away. In August 2018, the couple was first accused of homicide and felony murder. Following the charge, a video of their response went viral. Seth Welch was found guilty of first-degree murder in June 2020 and given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Fusari testified in 2021 that her husband was violent and would beat and rape her. She claimed that she was forbidden from taking her daughter to the doctor and attributed her inability to care for Mary to the abuse. Fusari, however, asserted that she was unaware of Mary's poor health and was ignorant of the circumstances surrounding her demise. Fusari was also given a life sentence without the chance of parole in November 2021 for first-degree murder. On top of that, she received a 15 to 30-year sentence for first-degree child abuse.
Tatiana, if you want to have a seat in here, right in there, and then I'll be back in a few minutes to chat with you, okay?
Okay.
You know, there's a little bit of drive here. Do you need to use the restroom at all?
I don't, but
Oh,
it's
okay. Need some water?
May I have some water, please? Thank you.
Hi.
Tatiana, this is my supervisor.
We've seen each other, but I don't think we've met. I'm sorry for your loss. I know that obviously the last thing you want to be doing is this. So we haven't spoke yet. I know you've already spoken with Jason. My name is Jason as well. But some of the same stuff that some of the same stuff that he's already talked about, I wasn't there when you guys spoke, so I'd like to go over some of it. Obviously, he's already advised you of your constitutional rights. Up at the scene, you still remember those rights. That's,
Thank you for clarifying.
yep, no problem. Do you want me to read them to you again, or you're still good to go? All right. Like I told you, you're not under arrest, but because you're in this fine facility, we do like to just remind you of those. So. Really, what I kind of would just like to do is just to get a better understanding of how we are here today and kind of go back a few years even, just to get to know you and your family a little bit. So, do you go by Tatiana, or do you have a nickname? Tatiana. Okay.
Nicknames don't really seem to work.
You couldn't just give us an easy nickname. No, I'm just kidding. How many children do you have?
Sorry,
3?
3.
Okay, yep. All right. And yeah. And Mary. Okay. How old is your oldest?
4.
And your and what? Okay. So, at the scene there, I was told that verbal. Is that true that he doesn't, or he's very verbal?
He's very verbal.
Oh, I don't know. Someone, and you know how it gets mixed. You whisper in one person's ear, and as it goes down the chain. Maybe he was just being shy. So
He tends to get shy, but
yeah, he did some high fiving for me, but
he knows lots of words. He's just sometimes big sister can be a little dominating. So
maybe that's what it is.
him, but
and probably all the commotion probably really made him shy, and he probably didn't want to. So maybe they were just saying he was nonverbal right now. Maybe that's what it was. Medical issues or nothing like that? Okay.
None at all.
And is she in any kind of daycare? Does she go? Does she have preschool?
No, I homeschool. I have my degree in early childhood
Okay.
education. So
Good for you.
But since being at home at the farm, I can at least give them an initial education before we decide to send them off to grade school.
Absolutely. So,
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Like, and what kind of stuff?
She is fluent in her alphabet, her numbers at least up to 20.
Yeah.
Although she knows other numbers like 100 and 60, but not sequence. She's practicing her writing. She just has a little issue with the numbers. They get a little backwards, but she knows how to spell words like hi, cat, dog. She knows Elizabeth starts with E.
She kind of do better than Jason. The hi and the cat and dog part. So does a doctor that she sees, does she have a primary doctor?
Not anymore. We did have, it was great and everything. We just we only go if there's an issue, and there just hasn't been.
Oh, good.
When she was 2.
Okay. And what was that for?
A checkup.
Do you know what clinic he's with?
It's his own practice.
Okay.
I know it's in Rockford. And
Do you remember where in Rockford? Okay, that's fine. No big deal. So, she was there for her 2-year checkup. Was she ever there prior to the 2-year checkup?
Yes.
For what?
18-month checkup.
18 months. Any other one?
No, we had her
Okay, so prior to the 18-month checkup, she was with a different doctor.
Yes.
Do you don't remember that? Okay.
He was the one that called CPS on us because we.
What were your occasions to be with him?
Her preliminary vaccinations.
So where? Metro Barn, and then so from there. So, off the top of your head, do you remember?
Maybe 6 months.
6 months. Yeah, I won't hold you to it. I know it's a while ago. And so at
early enough for her to get. Early enough for her to get her vaccinations, and we were consistent with it. And then afterwards, we just did a lot of research, and we didn't feel the need to do it anymore. Dr. Lindstrom was very gracious with us and understanding, and like, you actually don't have to do that at all.
Okay.
We'll do 4 to 6 if you want.
Okay, and so at what visit? Obviously, it was probably the last visit. Is when he recommended the helmet, the head shaping. But so there was never any concern about the shape of her head from 0 to 18 months.
No, and that's why it was such a concern for us as to why you would just bring this up out of nowhere. And
so what was the problem with the shape of her head, according to him?
He said it was off. It was just not circular. And I mean, I wasn't offended. I was just taken aback. And then my Seth found out that it's commission based with these products that they try and push. So we don't know specifically. This is hearsay.
Sure.
But we think that
we'll
he
accept
was
it.
trying to push the helmet. It was a $3,000 helmet for that and called CPS and said that we were being neglectful or something or other.
Okay.
And then that's when we went to talk.
So was it the first time he ever pushed that helmet? Was it right around the 18 month? That's the first time
I believe so.
Okay.
Unless he spoke to Seth otherwise, but I doubt it.
I've never even heard of a head shaping helmet.
Have you ever seen young children? It looks like some children with Down syndrome will wear it, and it like cuts here and it cuts like that, and it's big and quirky.
Maybe I have seen that. Maybe I have. Yeah.
It looks quite invasive, and and heavy, and I just want her to like get neck problems or back problems, and she didn't need it.
Right. Yeah. So, the 2-year checkup. After that, we haven't needed it. How was the shape of her head?
Wonderful. You've seen her.
Yeah. So that worked out just. Was okay.
Yes.
How does that work?
Wonderful.
Was that a choice?
Yeah.
Was that like what do they call it, like a midwife or something?
Yeah, it was a home birth.
Okay, so how does that work when you choose to have? First off, I mean, why did you go from being from her in a hospital and some transformation here where you said we want to do the midwives? Yeah.
Yeah. Being at the hospital was very invasive. They with me after she was born. They wanted her out of the room. They wanted to stay her for 3 days because apparently I pushed out a lot more fluid than they were expecting. So she coughed. I'm like, oh, we need to keep her for testing. And then I just think it's because they just wanted to charge us more. I don't know. Conspiracy theory, yada yada, whatever.
Yeah, you never know though, right?
Exactly,
right.
you don't. So I just think they wanted to keep us there for 3 more days, and then they wouldn't allow me to see her except to nurse, and they were saying, oh, you can just give her food here, and don't worry, you can rest. I don't want to see my baby. And then they would have WIC come in and give me information, and then you want to have newborn portraits? No, can I just go home?
Right.
So we just didn't want any part.
So that just turned you off to the.
And having a home birth right after I gave birth, Seth went out and bought me a pizza, and I ate that whole pizza. Right after I gave birth.
Bonus.
Right on my couch.
So how does the midwife work? Is that through a hospital, through a clinic? How do you reach? How does this work?
Google.
Oh, okay.
I just searched on midwives in the area, or also there are Facebook groups like home births in West Michigan, Cedar Springs home birthing, and I just asked a lot of different women for advice.
So now, what is a midwife? Is it someone that knows what they're doing, or could I be a midwife?
You cannot be a midwife. You need medical training.
Well, okay, that's what I was wondering. So is it actually a certification?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she's been training with her grandmother. Excuse me.
No, that's all right.
Who's been training with her grandmother, so I trust it. I like the whole genealogy.
Absolutely, yeah.
She gave birth to all 3 of her kids at her home, and has been doing it for about 40 years before me.
So when a midwife becomes involved in your pregnancy, how early on do they become involved?
As early or as late as you'd like.
So what? Okay.
Because I was I was fit as a fiddle. I didn't.
Right. Yep. And this wasn't your first child, and you weren't concerned. Yep.
And then working on the farm, I barely gained weight, and I was just weeding all the time. It wasn't a necessity. I only went to see her to get ultrasound and.
But did she know you were coming? Did she know
After I contacted her.
So when did you contact her just at the 2 months, or did you set it up hey, I'm gonna be contacting you in a couple months?
No, it was that I contacted her.
Okay.
Said, hi, are you available to see me? I know you might be busy with other clients, but I'm gonna give birth soon.
So what do they do when they come? What's their first?
I have appointments at her house every 2 weeks, depending on the time of how far along I am.
So they do a full physical exam,
yes,
all that stuff.
I take a urine test for glucose levels, and then blood pressure, weight, height. She'll measure from the top of the stomach all the way to the bottom. We'll check. We didn't check blood. We'll do ultrasound to see where the baby is, the sex of the baby. She's also legally supposed to send me to a hospital or a doctor if there are any complications. And
perfect. Thing was fine.
Yeah.
And
No, and that's how we see it. It's just, I think it's the organic fruits and vegetables.
I'm sure that's something with it.
Spread the word.
Yeah. It's got to be healthier. So, from what I gather, at some point you guys started doing your own research on vaccinations, and you've chosen we're not doing the vaccinations route. So, because but you're not what would you to go to the doctor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yes, if there was a problem, of course.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. So,
right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been making it, but.
Any problems? Any developmental problems? Medical problems? Anything that concerns you?
No.
Never?
No.
Healthy as a horse?
The worst is probably him picking at his mosquito bites. Don't pick at your owies.
He'll never stop doing that.
No,
Ever.
it's a little scab, but that is literally the extent of any type of issue, medically or physically. It took them until they were about 16 months before they started walking, and they didn't even walk; they just ran.
So how big? baby.
Yes, right?
It's only about 22 inches shorter than we are now. I have to include myself in that.
You're a little more vertically challenged than I am.
Was heavier and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's my guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's stout. You've seen him. He's stout.
He's not a chubby kid though. He's
stocky.
Yeah, he's about 20 ounces to the pound.
Weeding.
Yeah.
All that weeding.
Yeah, that's right. Get him to work.
Yeah.
He's happy-go-lucky, so.
Mm-hmm.
And so. So, is
she's probably 50 pounds now.
I don't know about any of this. Is John in his height weight category?
Yes.
They're either too fat or they're not. And that also prompted a CPS visit? Is that?
Yes, with the same doctor about the helmet.
Okay. He referred you to CPS how many times?
It was once, as far as I'm aware.
So, yeah. Thanks a lot.
21.
Thanks a lot for the cookie.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
So that was like.
Sandy.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we would expect that, right? So. But was it the same time that the helmet?
Yes.
Okay, so it was kind of like a couple issues on the same referral. Is that
We thought they were just coming for the helmet, and then she clarified for us and said, this documentation here says that she's fine. So I don't know what he's telling you.
Right. Okay. So that was pretty frustrating.
Very.
So she, 3 months ago she weighed 46 pounds, and about how tall is or was she 3 months ago?
Oh.
You know?
I forgot.
It's okay. I wouldn't know how to tell my kids that. I use this.
That's what I was going to do.
Well, let's say if she were standing here, what's just your ballpark where you think she'd stand to you? Or you probably know where she comes to your body.
Yeah, with me standing, her head is right up to here. I mean, she sits.
Just like chest level?
Yes.
And how tall are you?
I'm maybe she's 4.
So she's actually pretty tall.
She is, isn't she? I mean, my father-in-law is 6-something.
Oh, well, yeah. Where on you? He's not chest level, so just over the waist?
Just over the waist.
Okay.
Just tall enough for great hugs.
You betcha. So he is at 2, that's actually pretty tall. That's actually quite tall, too. Yeah, he's going to be a sprawny kid, too, then, isn't he? So now we're going to get into a more difficult subject. And then we're going to as well, which obviously you're going to want to talk about her, but it'll probably be difficult today. Was he excited about that?
Yeah.
Was he really? Good for him. Late, or you were a few minutes early, however we want to word it, right?
Sure. Depending on who you ask.
Right. 2 minutes late, and Seth delivered her. So did Seth know what to do with the court? Did it all?
Yeah.
Or did he leave a little? So when you gave you bottle feed, breastfeed, pump,
Breastfeed, pump.
So when you gave birth, work?
Yes.
Okay, where did you work at?
At the Cedar Springs Mire.
So when you were working at Cedar Mire, while you were at work, did you leave work to breastfeed, or did you leave pumped bottles at home for Seth to feed?
I left pumped bottles at home.
Okay. So how do you do that? When you set up your pump, I mean, I know how the pump works, but is that something you refrigerate, something you freeze, something you do fresh every day? What about, so how's that work?
It depends on my shift, but usually it's I pump fresh every day, and I will leave one out on the counter, leave some in the fridge, and then there will be some in the freezer. So if he does run out during the day, there's some extra in the freezer on those days where I'm just, pardon my language, but a little more swollen than
Yeah, right, yeah.
usual.
So when you left some, so you would leave one bottle on the counter, so that could be room temperature.
Yeah,
And then you put how many typically in the fridge?
about 3.
Okay, and then how many did you typically have on tap in the freezer?
Oh boy. Like 12.
And so those are just in the bottle, nipple inverted, and
No,
how's that
they're
work?
not in the bottle. They're in
Okay.
a freezer-safe pouch.
Oh, and then that gets stuffed down into a bottle?
No, the pouch gets put into a pot, and then you, with not boiling water, but warm enough water so it defrosts,
Uh-huh.
and then you pour it into a bottle,
Oh, I gotcha.
and then let it sit so it's not too hot.
And so you would keep about 12 of those in the freezer,
Yes.
guesstimate.
Mm-hmm.
So how long do the ones in the freezer stay good?
6 months.
Okay. Oh, so do you rotate the freezer ones out to the fridge so you can put some fresh ones in the freezer?
It depends. Like if we were going to my in-laws' house in Grand Haven, then I would bring the freezer ones with me.
Oh, to use some of those.
Mm-hmm.
So do you date the ones that are in the freezer?
Yeah.
Do you put dates
Oh,
on
you
them?
have to.
Okay. Breast formula, or
Breast.
same story?
Farm was taking off well enough, so I was able to stay home and do farmers markets.
Fresh from the source.
Yes.
Did you still leave some in the freezer?
I didn't need to.
But what if so Seth did feed
And I should note that when I went back to work after already.
Oh, she was. Okay.
So in about
So
a month, she was going to start solid food. So I would have frozen solid food of like breast milk mixed with like cream spinach and peas and ice trays, and then you can defrost that even in the Ziploc bag in the microwave.
So was at 4 months was she developing well? Was she getting to be a roly-poly. How did your kids develop? Every child's different, I know that, but...
They all were very engaging and active. And yes, roly-poly is a great way to describe all of them, actually.
Okay.
The only thing they were late on was walking.
Okay. So, would you say, like, chubby cheeks and... that was she always thinner?
She was always petite.
Always petite.
Yeah, she was never, nothing chunky about her, just...
But nothing concerning either.
No.
So she was still fitting into the size diapers and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
So because I mean, I've got kids too, but I probably much like shop. I didn't do most of the diaper shopping.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's like months. Like there's the infant, or the newborn, and then it goes like what?
1, 2, 3.
So that's based on months. So it'll say like 0 to 3 months or something like that, or does it say 3 to 6 months? Or is it not like that
0 to
anymore?
3 months, it's usually size still newborn, and then
still,
3 to 6 would be size 1.
So when she was 3 to 6, was she wearing size 1, 3 to 6?
Yes, she was good with her diapers.
Okay, so even though she was petite, she was still growing into the age-appropriate diapers.
Yeah, she was very tall.
Okay. And even her clothes, like her 2Ts and 4T toddler stuff, was she age-appropriate with the sizes that she was growing into?
Yeah, we in fact had to get larger because she was so long.
Oh. But they weren't so baggy that they were falling off of her?
No, not until, actually not at all. She finally started to fit them fully when she was maybe a year.
Okay.
And that's when, they didn't.
But now, feeding, he turned into a chunker for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. And obviously he grew out of that. And so was he still age appropriate, or did he kind of go an age or two over where he should have been?
He was a tad over.
Okay.
Not in the diaper sense, but I mean, right now he's wearing 3T to 4T diapers, but that's because they're the pull-up ones.
Yeah.
We're trying to encourage potty training.
Yeah, oh, good.
But his clothes right now are 3T.
Oh, so he is over then, yeah.
Yeah, but he's going to be 3 soon, and I just don't want him when he puts his arms up to have his belly out. So
plus you want to buy him lunch. You want him to last more than a week.
Yeah.
At that age, they're just sprouting up. So you didn't work. When did you go back to work? About-ish.
February of this past year.
Of this year or 17? This is 2018?
Yes, 2018.
So this year?
And that's when I started working at McDonald's.
Okay. And so... February?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. So...
17th, actually.
So in October. So from October 23rd to November 23rd, to December to January to February. So basically the first 4 full months, she was fresh from the source breastfed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And same story, if you went somewhere, she went with you, Seth never had to feed her.
No.
So for 4 months, he never fed her.
No.
Okay.
No way. Not that he couldn't, I just...
No. Well, why? Yeah, if you're right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was winter, cuddle time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, February 17th, you go back to work. Why did you come back to work?
To be blunt, just to support the farm.
Yeah. Yep.
Give us some startup money.
Because now, you guys used to do fruit farm produce stand, and Seth was saying that just didn't really take off.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to do a U-Pick strawberry thing, and...
I was pregnant with Mary, taking Elizabeth and John down to farmers markets 4 times a week from 6 to 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it was grueling.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, and having to manage the children and then interact with the customers, and some days were just they didn't pay the gas to go down there. So.
I don't blame you.
U-Pick strawberries this year took off phenomenally, and we're going to expand that way.
So now, is the farm, whose passion is that?
It started out as Seth. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, so I didn't.
Not your passion, then.
Not that.
So, is it your passion now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is something that Seth wanted, and then you grew to love, or
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I work at McDonald's. I wouldn't otherwise.
No, right. So February 17 rolls around, and this month's old. How do you manage feeding them?
Refrigerate bottles.
Okay.
Because I was only doing 4-hour shifts at the time, just so they can see my work ethic. So I would do, I would leave 1 bottle out and then 1 bottle in the fridge. And I would the day and then put her down to bed before I left. And that was at 7 o'clock.
All right, so your shift was
7 to 11.
7 p.m. to 11.
Yeah, so
is on a typical day, what time in the morning would be your first feeding with her?
at that time?
At that time.
Maybe 5,
a.m.
3:30, and
Okay.
then
So at
5
3:30
again.
she would wake up,
Mhm.
and would she do a full feeding?
Yes. Although she would fall asleep. So I'd wake her up.
You just keep
Make
nudging
sure she
her.
was full, yeah.
And when you, now typically speaking at 3:30 when you woke her up, would she need a diaper change as well?
No,
Okay,
she
so
wouldn't. Because she was up at midnight before that, eating.
so the last feeding for the night would be well, let's just start at 3:30. That would give us a good time frame. So at 3:30 there'd be a full feeding, and her diaper was fine. No pee, no poop. She's good.
Yeah, she was fine.
So then, when would be the next feeding?
Between 5 and 6. And that's when I would change her.
And would that be another full feeding?
Yes.
Okay.
And I would change her then, and
And
then
when you changed her then, it would be due to
urine.
urine.
And then the kids would be up too, and then so I'd leave just to be awake with the kids, and the kids would have breakfast while Mary's either eating or sitting in her little bouncy chair looking around, and then
So at 4 months, she could sit in her bouncy chair and look around and...
yes,
Okay.
she was always able to hold her head up on her own. But it was a little rocker chair, not a bouncy chair, I'm sorry. So she would lean back in it, and you put batteries in it, and it rocks on
Oh,
itself.
yes, yeah. So the next feeding, is, we have a 5 to 6 time frame. The next feeding is, would have been when, about?
8 to 9.
8 to 9.
Yeah, she would feed every 2 hours, on average.
Another full, every feeding was a full feeding?
Yes, she was, yes.
And 8 to 9, how was the diaper?
Depending on the day, or how much she ate, I would change her poop 3 times a day.
Okay.
That I made note of.
Okay.
So it's hard to give you specifics on an actual day, but if she didn't poop then, the next time there would be a poop. But it was always 1 in the afternoon.
So either this feeding or the next one is typically a poopy diaper?
Yes.
Okay. And the next feeding was, I know you told me I'm not good with math.
Another 2 hours after that.
So you're thinking 11 to
Noonish, because I know she'd eat when the kids would have lunch too.
So noonish.
And then the kids would have their snack around 2, and she'd be eating again.
So I can say that either the 8 to 9 or the noonish feeding was a poopy diaper change.
Yeah. And it was not, I mean, she didn't do solids yet. There wasn't solid poopy yet.
No. And then you said after noonish was, what did you say, 2?
Around 2, the kids would have their snack. Maybe 2 to 3.
How about the diaper situation on that one?
She just always pee. So every time I got her to feed her during the day, there was always pee.
So every daytime feeding had a wet diaper?
Yes.
Holy smoly.
Yeah, well, she was eating a lot.
Yeah, she was.
It was just for the 3:30, which I was grateful for, that I didn't have to change her diaper at 3:30 in the morning when I wanted to go back to bed.
Right. So then, 5-ish? 5 to 6? Or is this or would there only be one more feeding before you went to work? Or?
Yeah, so around 5, and the kids would have dinner.
Okay.
Because I would put the kids down for bed before I left also. And this was in the winter, so it was darker outside, so they would sleep earlier in the day. So I'd feed everyone, and then that's bed for the night.
Which would be about?
That's 6:30, because then I'd have to get ready for work. 6:30, kids would go to bed, and there'd be a bottle on the counter, and there'd be one in the fridge, just in case.
But first you'd...
While the kids were eating dinner, yeah.
Would you put her to bed? Would she be asleep when you put her to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would feed her to sleep, and then lay her to bed. Okay.
Yes. And there wouldn't be anything, not even a teddy bear in the bed, not that early.
Okay.
So, and she would sleep until maybe midnight. So Seth wouldn't even sometimes need a bottle. So I would just use the bottle so it wouldn't go to waste when I came home.
So if you were already home, then you'd use the bottle.
Yes.
But if you weren't home, Seth would use the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what would you do with the one in the fridge then?
I'd use it the next morning.
Okay.
This one always fits. Yeah, at 3:30, when she would get up again, and it was 3:30 clockwork. She knew. I would sleep on the couch because I just knew that she'd be up at 3:30.
So let me just go over this
Sure.
to see if I've got it right. And so actually, I'll start with midnight.
Okay.
So typically, either right before you got home or about the time you got home, there was a feeding.
Yes. I think she just knew Mama was home.
Now, was it always you, or did sometimes Seth feed her prior to you being home?
It was always me.
Okay.
I chose to, and he was very kind about it. He said, "You need your rest." And
yeah. Really, Seth didn't even need those bottles that were left behind because he didn't.
I remember, no.
Okay.
And she started eating solid food a month after that, and that's when 3 to 11 shifts.
Oh, okay.
And that's when she was eating her solid food, so I would grind up, organic vegetables mixed with breast milk.
Yeah.
And he would feed that to her along with some oatmeal.
Okay. So before we get into that, let me just first make sure this timeline's all right.
Okay.
So at midnight, you would Mary. At 3:30 in the morning, she would wake you up crying.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd get up and you'd feed her again. Her diaper was fine because at midnight you changed her diaper.
Yes.
Was that poopy or?
Most likely it was poop. She was sleeping for 4 hours before that.
Yep. So then at 3:30, full feeding, diaper's fine. 5 a.m. full feeding, probably a wet diaper.
Yes.
8 to 9 full feeding, maybe a poopy diaper. Noonish full feeding. If the other diaper wasn't poopy, this one was.
Yes.
2 to 3 full feeding, wet diaper. 6:30, just prior to you going to work, you'd feed. You lay her in bed, and then you're off to work. Mm-hmm. And then you'd be home by midnight. We'd start the thing over again.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you said those habits changed at some point.
At about 6 months.
At 6 months. So at 6 months, did your hours change? Is that why these habits changed, or did they change because, or a combination of both?
It could have been a combination of both. I know because she was growing, she was eating more, and we were encouraging the solid food so she could gain more weight. So we just wanted, I was putting butter in her mashed potatoes so she can eat really.
So when she was growing, so now at 6 months, was she wearing 6T? Was she wearing age-appropriate size diapers?
Lengthwise, yes,
Length?
but she wasn't filling them out widthwise. So she was wearing the 3 to 6 month clothing.
And how do you feel about weight size? Was she okay, or was she?
I was a tad concerned, but then I remembered. I'm a mom, so I'll just worry about anything.
Sure.
But then I remembered Elizabeth and how petite she was then, and how she would fill in lengthwise, but not widthwise until she was about a year.
So what was your tad concern? What was that? Was she just not gaining enough weight, or was that the concern?
It was possibly. It was just. I think what got to me was seeing like other babies just so chunky and always hearing like, oh, she's so small. And I was like, yes, premature, she's petite,
Mm-hmm.
leave it alone,
Yeah,
you know, and then also I forget, like, all these babies are formula fed, and there's nothing against formula, sometimes mothers need to do it, but the formula is what chunks up the baby
Sure,
quickly, and I just didn't do that. So then I got it out of my head. It was just a little.
So you had a little bit of a concern due to her weight, but not her length. But you weren't overly concerned. You got it out of your head because you realized that she's fine. And
yeah, I was being overwhelmed, I suppose.
Well, we all can do that. So at 6 months, other than a little bit underweight, you considered her to be appropriate size.
Yes, and developmentally as well. I mean, she was
doing real well developmentally.
Yeah, she was already putting her hands on the floor and just looking around. We have a play mat, and we give her tummy time. So especially on days where I have off, we'll just be playing all day, tummy time. She'll be on her stomach, and she'll have her head up, looking around, watching the other kids play, or have table time, just where they do their schoolwork. The cats would cuddle with her, which is adorable. She'd roll over on her back, and there's like a little balcony. Looks like a rainbow, but it's over the head of the baby, and she can.
Oh, yeah, no things they dingle with.
Yeah, she reaches her arms up, and she'll grab at them and pull them down, and then like giggle at the sounds. Like she's interactive.
Okay. So you felt that she was developing good at that point.
Yes.
And you're educated in this area, so
I am.
if there's anyone that should know, it would be you. I mean,
I
probably
think so.
better than us two.
I'd like to think so. Paid for all that education, it should help, right?
So, because you're educated in early childhood development, is that what you said?
Yes.
So, and where's that education through?
It started out at City College of New York.
Okay.
And my credits transferred to Grand Rapids Community College.
Okay, so then, all right, so now we're into the 6 month, and your hours changed to what?
3 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 o'clock in the evening.
And so, I know this is boring, but let's go over the new day schedule now because of the change of hours and the change. At 6 months, have you done a diet change?
Fruit, mashed up fruit, vegetables mixed with breast milk. So the vegetables include whatever we were growing, which are peas, spinach. We got organic carrots from the store. That was a little fibrous, so I mixed it in with some peas. The fruits were blueberries, strawberries, apples. Raspberries.
So when you mix it in with breast milk, explain what do you mean by that?
Oh, so I would pump some milk in a bottle, and then we have a juicer or a blender. So I would blend the vegetables. So for example, let's do spinach.
Okay.
I blend the spinach in there with a little water, and then I pour the breast milk in there just so it was easy for her to swallow, like oatmeal.
So then she eat it with a spoon or out of a bottle?
A spoon.
Okay.
It was solid enough for either Seth or I to feed her with a spoon.
So now, at 6 months old, was she using a bottle at all anymore?
No, she didn't need to. She was still nursing.
She was still nursing?
Yes.
Okay. So then let's do this then. Let's talk about, let's go over like the daily routine of that, of nursing and feeding. So if we would say that the day starts at midnight.
Okay.
Or no, how...
She was sleeping through the night at this point.
She was?
Yeah.
Okay. So what, in the morning time, what would be your first feeding?
Between 7 and 8. Because the kids would wake up at that time as well, and I think they woke her up.
So between 7 and 8, she would awake, and you would feed,
I would nurse her then.
Nurse?
So I'd give the kids their breakfast, and then I'd sit down.
And probably a little bit longer now, maybe?
Yes, oh yeah.
Okay.
She would sit there and chug, and it would take both breasts to fill her up.
And at that feeding, was it just breast milk?
In the morning, yeah.
And how about diaper?
In the morning, oh yes, because she slept all night. It was typically a poop.
Okay.
But if not, it'd be a pee, of course, but it was most likely a poop.
And then when was the next feeding after the 7 o'clock one?
She still would eat every 2 to 3 hours.
She did, okay.
But the next feeding after that, so let's say if it was 7 to 8, the first one we'll do 11.
Okay.
And that's when it was solid food. So I'd start with the nursing, and then I'd give her solid food after that.
The solid smoothie you just explained?
Yes.
Okay.
And it would be vegetable first, and then we'd give her fruit, because if she had the fruit first, she wouldn't eat the vegetables.
So the veggies were mixed with breast milk?
And the fruit wasn't.
And the fruit was not? The
No.
fruit was just a smoothie?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you mix the veggies with the breast milk? What was the purpose? I'm just curious.
The veggie gets a little gritty.
Oh,
So
okay.
with the breast milk, it helps it go down easier. Not so chunky.
And how much of that would she typically eat?
About 4 to 6 ounces.
Of
And then-
each one, or combined?
Of each one. And that was even after about a half hour or 40 minutes of nursing.
Oh, so you would nurse her at 11 too?
Yes. I nursed her every chance I got. Getting solid foods and, WebMD recommended and just like...
So then 11, actually, the first thing you do is nurse her.
Yeah.
Then you'd feed her the veggie smoothie with breast milk. Then you'd feed her the fruit smoothie with just a little bit of water blended with it, or just fruit?
It depends on the fruit. If it was apple, I'd have to do water with it. Strawberries, didn't need it.
Okay.
If I did strawberry and apple, I didn't need it. It just depended.
And the vegetables was 4 to 6 ounces, and the fruit was 4 to 6 ounces. And so then after that, what would be the next feeding?
Another 2 or 3 hours after that.
Okay, so
It was
one...
whenever she asked for it, really.
Okay.
So, like, sometimes it would be, because we'd be outside, so we'd be weeding or just playing outside.
Did she come out with you when you were outside?
Yes.
Okay.
She loved
What
it.
did she do?
She'd sit in her stroller.
Okay.
She liked to laugh at the birds and
Yeah.
just, and then she'll start to,
That's when you, like, hey, I'm hungry?
Yeah, hungry? Huh?
So, but you would have to say that, and I know that obviously that none of us eat lunch exact same time every day, but so 1 to 2 p.m. You're feeding her again.
Yeah.
And that consisted of
The same thing.
nursing for a half hour.
Yes. Yep, nursing first. And sometimes I wouldn't do it that long just because we had work to do outside.
Yeah.
So I nursed her a little bit just to appease her so she'd stop crying.
Yeah.
And then I'd sit her in her high chair and feed her her food.
So on the 1 to 2, you might have cut back the nursing a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she'd have the same amount of solid, but that would be enough for her.
Yep, 4 to 6 of each then as well.
Yes, and then I'd put her down for a nap.
Yeah. And so let me back up at the 11 o'clock feeding. Well, at the 7 to 8, I'm sorry, at the 11 o'clock feeding, was there a diaper change?
Yes.
And was that, because I know the 7 o'clock one we had a usually a poopy diaper.
No, it was just urine.
Okay.
She would poop again after her nap.
So the 1 to, after the nap. So the 1 to 2 was a diaper change?
Yes.
Just urine?
Yes.
Okay.
And then after that, feeding.
So nap was about when to when?
Because she hasn't napped for the day, it'd probably be about 3 to 4 hours.
So maybe, let's just say, whatever, 2 to 5, 2 to 6?
Actually, yeah, because then she'd get up and be dinner time for her and the kids and for mom and dad, so she was good on
So was she usually up by 5, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Something there? Okay.
time for dinner.
And then when she woke up, she wake up hungry right away?
Yeah. I mean, I assumed because she would latch on quickly. I'm sure she refused if she wasn't.
So when she woke up, you would be feeding her 5, 6 o'clock.
After I changed her poop.
All right, change poopy diaper. Now, at this point, are you getting a little more solid poopy diapers or still running poopy?
Yeah, there's more solid because she's been eating the chunkier food.
All right. And so based in your opinion of what you're seeing in her diaper, she's digesting her food just fine, everything.
If it was still runny, I'd be concerned. If there's no poop at all, I'd be concerned.
Yeah, okay.
But the color comes out fine. I mean, it's brown.
Okay. More solid, good color. So, woke up hungry, so that's a nursing?
Yeah.
Is that a full, or we're cutting that one back a little too, or?
For dinner?
For dinner.
Yeah, I would cut it back a little too because I also have to get dinner ready for everyone else. So I'd nurse just a little bit, tell the kids to clear the table, help Dad set the table, and then nurse her while they were doing that, and then we'd have dinner.
So that nursing would be how long-ish?
Maybe like 20 minutes, just enough to appease her.
Yeah.
And then she'd have maybe an ounce more of the solid food.
So 5 to 7?
Roughly, sure. Just because I didn't nurse her as much as I would have.
And is that on both again? So 5 to 7 vegetables, 5 to 7 fruit?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I gave her some variety.
All right, and so that is the 5 to 6 time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from there?
Then, after everyone's eaten, the kids clear the table, and they either like help Dad with dishes, or clear the counter, or put the food away in the containers. Meanwhile, Rocker just watching everyone, or we have a striped kitty. We have 3 kittens, and they were born the 19th of October, and Mary was born the 23rd. So yeah.
Yeah.
So the striped one likes to cuddle with Mary in her rocker chair.
Oh.
So she was
gets right up in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Really cute. We have pictures.
Yeah.
And he would just sit there right on her, by her feet, and just rock there and fall asleep. And she wouldn't usually fall asleep. There was just so much going on with the kids. So she would just watch and just make little noises. And
so, obviously the same with all of us, with the pictures and stuff. So, like, you have pictures of Mary, like, in her rocker, sitting upright, all that kind of stuff. And are those on your phone, on a camera, on a Google Drive?
They're on my phone.
On your phone, okay. We didn't grab that, though, right? You
no,
didn't take that? Okay.
I wasn't even sure where it was. I'm not on it very much. It's just like down.
Use it as a camera, right?
Yeah.
So, it's on the rocker. Everyone else is cleaning up and, doing our normal nightly routines. So then, what's next?
So then, getting exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
She said she usually has adventurous days.
Yeah.
So, I maybe around 7-ish, 7 to 8, always depends, obviously. So I'm giving you a broad hour.
Yep.
I put her down for bed. So I'd nurse her maybe 10 minutes just to put her to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put her straight to bed without nursing, she'll get a little fussy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put her to bed. I nurse her, burp her, and then check just to make sure she needs to be changed. She's dry, place her down. And then I close the door, and then the kids will have their bath and put their PJs on, and then they go to bed.
So you nurse, burp her, check it over. So now that feeding, no solid foods?
No, that was,
So that's just a quick 10-minute nursing off of
and that was like an hour after dinner. She started eating so much.
Yep.
Just to kind of knock her out.
So then that takes us again then back to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And we start the day over.
Yep. She would sleep all night. So that was quite a blessing for me.
And has that routine ever changed, or has that the routine that you were still on?
That routine remained consistent until she started going through her growth spurt, which has been recently, where she, actually, now that I think about it, a few weeks after that, she was going through her 6-month growth spurt.
Okay.
And she would sleep so much, and
So when you say it's growth spurt, did she get much longer?
Yes,
did she
much fuller.
So she got chubbier?
Her cheeks did.
Okay.
And she was filling into her clothes better. I mean, I was excited to put her in new outfits.
So when you say her cheeks got chubbier, would you then describe her cheeks if you were to look at her as a baby and say, she got chubby cheeks, or just chubbier than they once were?
Chubbier than they once were.
Okay. And she got longer.
Yeah.
And so she was born at 20 inches.
Mm-hmm.
What did you, I don't know if you measured or not, but what would be your ballpark as what she sprouted out to?
Maybe another 2 inches.
Okay. So was that the first time she grew?
No, there was a 3-month period, but that was just, she was an infant, she was sleeping a lot anyway, so it wasn't very noticeable, but because she was barely sleeping during the day at this point and sleeping through the night, we noticed that she was sleeping a lot longer during the day, waking up later, and she'd take longer. So just, great.
Yeah.
And then
So
that phase ended.
So when do you weigh and measure your kids on a regular basis?
No. when she'd come and do checkups for the kids.
When was... And so then after the 3-month checkup, do you guys have a routine that you do to check up on the kids, or just as needed if they're sick, if they're not sick?
It's as needed.
Okay.
I do have, although I did have a weight blanket, and it was, I had a little scale, and there were like grommets on the end of the blanket that you hook onto the scale. So I could put, but,
what's the most you ever had her weighing that you can recall?
12 pounds, 14 pounds, but it was a while ago because the cat got to it.
Okay, so she weighed 14 pounds at about what age?
6 months.
6 months. Okay. And that was during, before, or after this
Before
growth?
the growth spurt.
Oh, so 14 pounds before the growth spurt, so you would, what, as a mom, what would you guess her weight that she would have gained?
After the growth spurt,
Yeah.
maybe another 4 pounds.
So
Maybe not even. I'm just, go 2.
2. And again, I'm just asking you to guess things that you don't know. I'm
Yeah.
really here nor there, but I'm just wanting to know just the kind of ballpark is of what you think at least. So you would guess her to weigh 16 pounds at the conclusion of her growth spurt.
Yeah, she definitely felt like it.
Okay. And so you say she started sleeping more just after this routine started.
Yeah. And that was only for about a week, and then I suppose, ended her growth spurt and then went back to her regular routine.
She slept more for 1 week. And when you say she slept more for 1 week, what do you mean by that? She slept from when to when?
For example, if I put her down at 7, she wouldn't get up until 10. And her naps would be, instead of 2 hours, 4. She's had a 6-hour nap before during this growth spurt. And I would always just check. But
how would you check her?
The door I don't close all the way.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a hole in the door that I put there because I'm not very savvy with tools, and I hit the door with a hammer. So there's a big hammer hole there. So I use it as a peephole.
Good idea.
I also don't close the door fully just because the humidity swells the doors, and I don't want it to lock shut.
Yeah.
So it's closed, but not completely. So I'll push it a little, and every time I push it, she won't wake up, but she'll jerk. So I'll see movement, and then I'll peek at her, and I'll see her movement.
You just see like a little bit of a flash.
Yeah. And then she also has a little music player that shone like blue light, so I could see her face, and I could see her breathing. And
So, did you do that with all your kids? Okay.
Yeah.
Were all your kids in the same bedroom?
when they were infants, yeah.
Okay. Did they all sleep in the same crib?
Yes.
Okay. And so did that crib ever get removed out of that bedroom, or is that crib always there?
No, it was removed because he was an infant in that room with that crib, and never removed it to put his big boy bed.
So for one, at about her 6-month mark, which would have been February, March, April, so in April-ish, she had 1 week of sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. But then after that 1 week, she went back to the basic schedule that we just discussed. And did her schedule ever change again?
Not until recently, which I thought she was going through her 9-month growth spurt. She was sleeping a lot lately.
So recently, her schedule changed again. And when you say recently, about when-ish was that?
3 days ago.
Oh, 3 days ago. Okay. So 3 days ago, what happened then?
We would
Today is Thursday, so Tuesday, was it Monday? Tuesday? You remember what day that you would specifically remember it changing, or you don't have a specific recollection of it?
I don't, but I know I didn't have work. We can say Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday?
Tuesday sounds fine.
So tell me what you'd noticed.
She got up at 9 o'clock, and you were so tired, weren't you?
And she went to bed when? The night before that?
7 o'clock.
Okay. So she got up at 09 after going to bed at 7.
Mm-hmm. And it just reminded me of when she was 6 months old. It seemed consistent. Then she would eat like crazy, and then she would doze off again, like she was ready for bed immediately after eating. So I just, okay, it's consistent with the other children and with her 6-month-old growth spurt, so I put her down and she'd sleep for about 3 hours, get up again, eat, and it seemed like she wanted to go to bed, but I kept her up. And she hung out and was interactive, smiling. But then she'd start to fuss because she wanted to go back to bed. She was very tired, and she only likes to sleep in her bed. She'll sleep in the car or the truck, but.
So 3 days ago, did things happen enough that we could establish the routine? Was she on a 3-day routine? Like we just established 2 different routines that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
Did she have a routine the last 3 days? Or
no, it was a bit erratic. I would try and keep her up just because I was worried that she was sleeping so much.
Mm-hmm.
But when she wanted to sleep, she wanted to sleep.
Was she eating?
Yes, very well. And the Sunday before last, we went to Golden Corral, and she just feasted. She really liked the marshmallow sweet potatoes.
So you thought this was a growth spurt, and is that because you noticed her growing again?
Yes, and I remembered with my other 2 children this.
So at 6 months, we were.
Yes.
And so at this 9-month growth spurt, how much were you guessing her at then?
Maybe 20.
Okay. And when was the last time that you thought she was 20 pounds? Yesterday? Okay. And yesterday, when you thought she was 20 pounds, how long would you have guessed her to be?
Her legs would wrap around my waist. She's quite long.
Because she was born at 20 inches, right?
Mm-hmm. So her head here, and she would just wrap around the side there. So 26 inches maybe.
Okay.
Quite long.
So these last 3 days that she was going through a growing spurt, you were off from work Tuesday, and that's the first day that you noticed that?
Yes. And then I went to work yesterday at work. And she does have a different schedule when I go to work. If you need to make note of that.
Yes, what's that?
So in the morning she gets up at 7, along with the other children. Breakfast for her and for everyone. And that would be nursing and nursing for about a half hour while the kids ate. And then oatmeal. Oatmeal with maybe some maple syrup in it, or oatmeal with strawberries in it. Just depends.
Spoon oatmeal or oatmeal mixed in a bottle?
Spoon.
Okay.
Nice and chunky for her.
Okay.
And then I'd keep her up, and she would be awake until I had to go to work. So she'd be awake, then it was time to go outside and help Daddy with the fields. And we'd do weeding, or I'd sit Mary in her stroller, and she'd just sit and watch the ducks and just laugh at them.
So you didn't work, was it 7?
I didn't work. I'm sorry, what?
You started your day again, was it 7 o'clock that you started
in the
your day?
morning, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, your work day, on your days of work, what time did you start?
3 o'clock.
3 p.m. So you'd keep her awake from 7 till 3?
To 2:30.
Till 2:30.
Yeah.
And so during that time that she was kept awake, how many other meals did she have?
About 4, possibly, yeah.
So
one of them
had
was just nursing.
Well, the 7 o'clock one was breakfast. It was nursing for 30 minutes, oatmeal, some maple syrup, or fruit, whatever you had around. It's when would the next meal then be on this different routine day?
Oh, probably about when the kids would usually want a snack around 9. So it would be then. She eats maybe 9:30, 10. And that's that would when it'd be quiet time for the kids. The kids would go in their room and they could read, they could sit in their beds quietly.
Mm-hmm.
And then for an amount of an entire hour.
Okay.
And then if the kids were getting too restless, then, oh, time to go back outside. Or they'd have to clean their room.
Yeah.
But for yesterday, the kids, we went back outside. It was just so nice out. So then, she likes to, it keeps her quiet if you go for walks in the stroller. So we just went up and down the driveway, we checked the mail, we picked up garbage. The wind will blow garbage from other places sometimes. Helped Daddy with the weeding. We cut some weeds for the goat, and then I mean that's another couple hours, and then it'd be about maybe 2:15. Or no, I'm sorry, it'd be about 1:30.
So the last time she would have ate would have been 1:30 yesterday in the afternoon?
No. I feed her again at 1:30, and then
What was that feeding?
nursing and some oatmeal.
How long was that nursing?
The nursing was about 20 minutes. The oatmeal took longer because she was about 8 ounces of oatmeal. And then I would, I think the kids were still outside. I just eat. Oh yeah. Resting my feet before work because I'm just standing for 8 hours.
That was at 1:30?
Yeah. So then, 2:30 was when Mary was finished eating. So 2:30 was the end of it, and that's when I would change her diaper again and put her down.
Poopy diaper.
Yesterday morning, when I got her up for the day.
Have you noticed a decline in poopy diapers?
No. No, not at all. So this is such a surprise to me. I mean, this morning, when I got her up, she had spit up, and I just...
So yesterday morning, when you got her up at 7, she had spit up?
No, this morning.
Oh, this morning.
At 9, when I got her up, when I tried to get her up.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she choked on her spit, and that's why.
What color was her spit up?
It was foamy and brown. So I thought maybe it was the oatmeal and the fruit mixed in there.
So where was the spit up at?
The side of her mouth, the side of her face.
And was that, did you think, I don't know, was that food? Was it blood?
No, it wasn't blood.
It was not blood?
No,
She didn't have any kind of vomiting of blood or anything like that?
No, never.
Okay.
We would have taken to her doctor if
Sure.
that
Yeah.
ever happened.
So you were certain it was food?
Yes, essentially.
And it was on her side, it was on what side of her face?
Her right side.
Her right side, okay. And then that's when you noticed that she was unresponsive. It was this morning when you saw that. And what happened next?
She, excuse me. Her eyes were open.
Did anything else look strange other than obviously just stood up and then her eyes were open? Or other than that, did she look as usual?
She's just cold.
Okay.
So I went in to get Seth. And it's an emergency, and he's like, and I was just so shocked, and he reminded me I knew CPR, and he told me to start. So I took her from the bed and I put her on her changing table, and I started CPR, and I did the 2-finger touch on the chest. If you use your whole hand, you could break ribs, and I just didn't want to do that, for sure.
I know this is tough.
So I did a 2-finger touch on the chest and her back, and I wiped her mouth, and I did.
So you did this on her on the kitchen table?
No, the changing
On
table.
the changing table in the bedroom.
Yes.
So you said you did it on her mouth and you wiped her mouth.
I wiped her mouth first because there was the spit up. And now that I think about it, I think it was banana and oatmeal. You know when banana's been sitting out and it's very ripe?
Oh, yeah.
It gets that like brownish color.
Yeah.
But ripe banana's very sweet, and she eats the oatmeal better with it.
So what did you wipe her mouth with?
A baby wipe, a lavender scented baby wipe.
Okay. And then you did what with that?
I threw it in the garbage.
Okay.
Well, not immediately, no. I just
No.
wiped her and put it to the side,
Just wiped her into it? No. Yeah.
right next on the changing table.
And then you picked her up out of the bed?
Yes. And then I put her on the changing table, and then when I was pumping her chest, there was like bubbles, bubbles coming out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe that's why I thought she choked. And then maybe if I kept pumping, like it would, like maybe it would come out, and then she'd like cough and wake up. So I just kept the bubbles, and I was giving her air and giving her pumping with my finger, just my 2 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should have done more.
Nope, you were doing it right.
And she was still so cold, and I think maybe 10 minutes. I don't. It's so hard to gauge time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's not was with me the whole time, and he just asked me, is she dead? Is she gone? While he's crying, just asking me, is she gone? And I just so hard to say yes, and I just said yes. She's just unresponsive, and then we had no idea what to do then at all. Like, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
And so he called his parents. Or he called his dad first, excuse me, and his dad said, okay, your mom and I are on our way. Call the police. Let them know what happened, and we'll try and get there before they do. And then we just spent the entire time on the couch, waiting and crying. We did sleep. It was just, my mother-in-law doesn't like a dirty house. They just swept the floor for her, but I don't know why. Who cares? Why would we?
So this morning you found her about 9 o'clock. And is that what time you woke up?
No, I woke up at around 7. The kids are very consistent with their wake-up time at 7.
And she's always up at 7?
Yes. Except when she's going through her growth spurt, she'll sleep in until about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Which is why I went to check in on her at 9, and I wondered why she wasn't up yet.
Okay.
But last night when I came home, I opened the door just a tad so it could make that noise.
Yesterday you finished feeding her at 2:30.
Yep.
And you put her to bed at 2:30. And that was the last time you saw her because you went to work then?
Yeah.
Okay. But then you came home at 11:30, and when you opened the door, you saw movement from her.
Mm-hmm.
You're certain you saw movement?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Or else I would have.
So,
did you go any further into that room other than just looking through the door?
No.
The crack in the door?
I did not.
Was it the hole in the door or the crack in the door that you looked at?
It was a hole in the door. I didn't open the door completely. I just pushed it enough so it would make the noise. It's a very old, creaky door. So I pushed it enough. It makes the noise. It doesn't open the door completely. And she nudges because she hears it. And I just peek at her. I see her moving. And she's...
When you say that you saw her moving, how did you see her move? Can you describe that?
She was laying on her back still. Her blanket wasn't kicked off, and I only wrapped it right around the knees down to her feet to keep her feet warm. And she had her polar bear, but she likes to play with her polar bear before she goes to bed, so she kicked it off to the side. She was laying on her back. Her head was turned to the left side a bit. So when I pushed the door open, she jerked her arm a little and turned her head. So I could see that her eyes were so closed. She was squinting a bit, and then it's okay, and that's what she does.
And what time would that have been?
Around 11:30, 11:45, like, we'll just say 11:30. Because I came home, I was still in my uniform. I came home and I brought lemonade home and a burger, and I just set it down at the table, and I looked inside, and I did that, and then she was fine. And then I went into the room itself.
So, but she went to bed at 3. Wouldn't it be odd? Wouldn't it be odd, like for Seth, that she's still in bed when he went to bed? She's in bed at. I mean, she went to sleep at 2:30.
She's done this before, and so have our other kids, which is why we thought if she's sleeping, we're gonna let her sleep.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but you saw her and we saw her, and she's tiny.
Tatiana, we're all parents in this room, okay? And we all need to be honest. Remember in the car when I first talked with you, and I told you that at the end of the day, we all need to know exactly. Right? Okay? So we need to tell her story, okay? And I want you to think about this for a minute. I want you to think for a second and put yourself in our shoes. You're the police officer. You're the police detective. You get called out to that home today. You get called to my home or his home today. Okay? You, the police officer. And then you have to go into that house and you have to look at that precious little angel. Okay? Do you think she was healthy, honestly?
When you look at her size, and you can see every single bone in her body, do you think she was healthy?
We know this isn't easy, Tatiana, but we need to know what happened to her. What was going on?
So when did she start losing all that weight? But she's lost so much weight that you can't lose that much in 2 days. I've never seen a child that skinny. Never. And here's the thing. You're obviously a very concerned mom, but at what point did you know, what point did you think something was wrong? Because I know that you knew something, or you thought something wrong. You are an intelligent, educated woman. And at some point, you felt something was wrong.
It's not until she told me. I had so much, maybe it was just delusional hope that she was getting bigger and our cheeks were getting fuller and she was just so happy and playful. And then just these past couple days.
So at what point did she can't even weigh 8 pounds right now. She doesn't weigh 8 pounds. When's the last time that you actually inspected her, that you looked at her? Tell me the truth.
Every time when I changed her, and I think I just may have been just so blinded.
What were you blinded by? Because I know, listen, you are an intelligent, articulate, college-educated, early childhood development. You know when you look at someone that something's wrong. I have a picture of her right here. I'm prepared to show you. That tells you no medical treatment. As dumb as I am, I'm not near as intelligent as you. I can't speak the words you can speak. I am not you. And even I can look at this photo and I can say, whoa, something's wrong. It put tears in our eyes when we walked in there. It was that obvious.
Tatiana, I'm going to be quite honest with you right now, okay? One parent to another, right? And I'm going to try and control my emotions, all right? I've been to a child death investigator school, and I've seen photos and images of children that have been malnourished. And I'm telling you right now, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh no, really?
Yes. You clearly need help too, though.
You're going to be dealing with this. This is baggage. This is something that... Well, all I want to know is what stopped you from seeking help? You knew something was wrong. What stopped you? Tell us the truth.
I mean, are you guys that financially strapped? I mean, what is it? Do you not believe in health care? Do you have religious beliefs? I mean, what is it?
We do have religious beliefs, and we were praying about it, and we have faith that.
When did you start praying about it?
I mean, when she was born, but consistently and heavily the past 4 days.
So 3-4 days ago, you started praying. What were your prayers?
Stop her gain weight. She's eating lies and it's sticking. She ate so much.
But so why?
Why didn't it stick?
I have a strong faith as well, a very strong faith, and I think God answers prayers. I'm with you on that. I also think God puts people in places to help people, but we all have our own beliefs. But here's what I'm saying is that you guys knew enough was wrong to start heavily and consistently praying. Why didn't we seek help? You knew.
I just didn't.
No.
Say anything to Seth.
Seth had to know. He doesn't ever hold her?
Yes, but he was also very faithful and trusting God and trusted that it would be okay, and didn't think we needed to bring her to a doctor.
You knew.
How long did you know this?
What the condition? It doesn't happen in 3 days. It doesn't happen in 4 days.
I think I just deluded myself. I just didn't want to believe it.
So when did you delude yourself? When did you start? When did this condition start?
I think within a month it started to become, I was a bit up and down. Her cheeks would be full and bright, and then a couple days later she would look ill or hungry, and then, or not hungry, just her cheeks wouldn't be as full as they were.
Shrunken then?
Yeah, and then...
So when did you notice that she had all her bones showing?
About a month.
About a month ago.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you bathed her?
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
So about a month ago, you noticed that her bones are all showing, right? And so, is that when you started heavily praying?
No, it was the past few days, because about a month ago it would be full, and then 2 days later it would be sunken in, but then within the day it'd be full again. But then the past few days it wouldn't fill up as quickly as it did.
But listen, here's what I'm saying, Mary. Listen, I get that, but her legs were as small as my pointer finger. So that didn't happen in 3 days.
No.
And I know that you know that. And I know that you wanted to get her help. But I'm trying to just figure out, when did this happen? I understand that maybe you started seeing some kind of symptoms a month ago, but when did she consistently lose all of this weight? When did she consistently become skin and bones?
I think it was within a month.
So
she was always just so thin, and
so within a month. So then why, when we had a month to look at her like this, why didn't we get help?
We thought she'd get better without getting help.
How did you think she was going to get better?
By feeding her and being with her.
Was she really truly eating the way that you were telling us?
Yes.
Because if you want, he has a photo of her, and if you want to see it, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I explained this to both you and Seth when you were in my car with me. You know, there's going to be an autopsy done, okay? And there was a person from the medical examiner's office at the house, okay?
So we're gonna know all this, what we're saying.
Yeah.
And you're not a bad person. We get all this, and we get that there's a dynamic here that we're trying to figure out. There is a dynamic here. I'm gonna tell you, I know it. I know there's a dynamic, and I feel that you wanted to get her help. I'm trying to just figure out why you didn't. What's the dynamic? What am I missing? Because you can't tell me that this Brooklyn, New York, this New York college, city college educated, Grand Rapids Community College, early childhood person didn't know that this girl needed help, but something stopped her. I'm trying to figure out what it is. What stood between you and help?
I think I was worried about another CPS call from the doctors, and I thought that Mary would get better and it would be okay.
But at what point did you get better?
About 2 days ago. Or 3 days ago. 2 days.
So 2-3 days ago you thought she wasn't going to get better, so then why didn't we call then? What?
Because I thought that I was being doubtful, and
You thought you were being doubtful of Christ?
Yes. I thought I was lessening in my faith, and I just...
Is that what Seth thought too?
That I was being doubtful?
No, I want to know out of you two, which one of you wanted to go to take her to the doctor?
I know he didn't, and I didn't for a long time, until recently it just became a little thought in my head that maybe we should, and then I was worried about CPS and about just losing faith. We've had issues with CPS before, and I just didn't want to lose this kid.
So you thought you were losing faith by thinking you needed to go to the doctor?
That I wasn't having faith in God to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel stupid about it now.
That's what we're trying to figure out. Do you think? And I'm not ridiculing this. I just want to know. Do you guys think that God doesn't want us to use doctors?
No.
So do you think God puts people in places to help us?
Yes, I do. I believe that for sure.
And do you think doctors could be those people?
Yeah.
So, all still, I get what you're saying, but this is what I'm telling you. 2 days ago, I could have looked at this child and I could have said, this child has hours to live. Two days ago, I could have looked at this child and I probably would have thought this child has minutes to live. 2 days ago, if I'd have seen this child in your hands, and a stranger at my had snatched this child out of your hands and faced the consequences. That's what I'm trying to reason with, is that but you didn't receive the help, and you knew that 2 days ago, you just said that she was probably, what'd you say, beyond help, or whatever it was 2 days ago. So what?
It's not beyond help.
At what point in this illness did you think there's a good chance she's gonna die?
I didn't think at all that she was gonna die.
How could you not think that?
Delusional. I don't have a reason why I couldn't think that. I was just being such a hopeful mom. I suppose I don't have a good reason for you. I'm sorry.
What was your conversations like with Seth?
You said a minute ago that you knew that he didn't want to go to a doctor.
Yeah, because we discussed it before. That we just
discussed her conditions?
Yes.
When was the first time you guys discussed that?
Maybe a month ago.
So a month ago is when. What did you notice a month ago? Because I'm certain you're the one, because you said that you know Seth didn't want to go. So obviously you're the one that brought up needing to go to the doctor. What did you notice a month ago?
That she was almost 9 months old and just wasn't filling into her clothing like she should, and you know, we talked about it, and you just have faith, and just we'll keep feeding her like we do, and keep nursing her, and keep her active, and she'll get there. It's okay, she'll get there.
But let me ask you something. If Seth told you that God told him to sacrifice one of your children, would you do it?
No.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. How many conversations did you have with Seth about this?
Not very many. Maybe 2 at most, just because we didn't want to worry about it. We trusted God. And
would he get angry talking about it?
no, I think he'd be very sure.
What would happen? How would he react if you took her to the doctor anyway?
I'm not sure. Something like that has never happened.
I'm just asking you to speculate.
I think he would just be concerned that CPS would be called, but not angry. Just say, okay, just know that you took her to the doctor. Expect CPS to come to the house.
He's not an angry type person.
No.
How is he as far as emotional goes?
He's not afraid to cry. I'll just say that.
Does he cry a lot? Would you say that he wears his emotions on his sleeve?
I suppose. I mean, when we were going through our marriage, the beginning of it, and he was very expressive about about his feelings and how he would like to be treated, and how I wasn't, treating him well, and then in return told me he realized that he wasn't being a respectful husband and wasn't treating me well either. So he's very intuitive, and and expressive, which is rare, I suppose.
So today at 9 o'clock, you found Mary deceased. What time were we called?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Was it 11?
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, why?
We called my in-laws first, and
The time that the sheriff's department was called to respond to your house was at 12:06.
that's when they came, or that's when they were called.
That's when 911 was called.
That's when 911 was called. Was 12:06.
3 hours and 6 minutes later.
My father-in-law said to wait until they were close, because they live an hour away, to wait until they were close before we called police, so we can get there at the same time.
That would explain 1 hour. What about the other 2 hours and 6 minutes of waiting?
I think that we were in such a state of shock that we just didn't know what to do.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you ever look at how tiny and sunken and skeletal she looked and say, we're in trouble?
Yeah. I think actually it came across my mind today.
Did you guys have a discussion about it?
No.
Did he say anything to you about that?
No.
Did you?
Why did it come across your mind? What were you thinking? Is that why it took so long to call 911? I've never worked a case that's taken that long to call 911.
This has just never happened before, or with anyone we knew, or we waited for a response from my father-in-law to see what his advice was. We had no idea what to do. And he said, yes, you should call the police. We're on our way. Wait until we're close.
But even by your father-in-law, he wasn't even called until around approximately 10:30 to 10:45. So we're still looking at an hour and a half.
It may have been after 9 then, because that is a very long time, and it did not feel that long at all. It must have been just before 10 then. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong time.
No.
You're not expected to check your watch every time you go check something. We're not holding you to all those times.
I know it was before 10, but it was definitely after 9. That is an excessively long time to just stand around there.
That's so. All right, let's even just give the benefit of the doubt and say it's 10.
Okay.
That's 10 o'clock. So, because like you said, you know it was before 10, but we'll just play it safe and say it's 10.
Okay.
And so 10 o'clock rolls around. You check everything. You did CPR for about 10 minutes, according to what you told me. So then, what'd you do for the next 2 hours? Because that's still.
We waited.
Yeah.
Before
you called us, you waited for 2 hours before we got called.
We waited for my in-laws to come. We were trying to contact them, and then we got a response.
Well, we were trying to contact them. Was that like a long process to get a hold of them?
I actually don't know. I'm sorry. Seth was the one that contacted them. I didn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I don't know how long it took, if any time at all. I was just very distraught.
So you said you slept. What else? What other kind of house cleaning did you do? Because you said your mother-in-law doesn't like a dirty house.
The kids, just to distract them, I just had them clean their room, put your toys away, and...
Did they know what was going on?
We told them, but I don't...
So then they cleaned their rooms, and then what did you and Seth do?
Slept, and then we hugged and cried, and we just sat on the couch and just were silent.
But there's just some odd thing. Obviously, you know this case is odd, and you never once expressed to Seth that, hey, this isn't good. Look at her. No,
I didn't.
Did he ever even make a comment about her body? You guys looked at her, and he never said anything about it.
No.
You know how he described her to us on the phone? You can listen to the 911. He described her as, nope, she's dead as a doornail.
He gets like that when he's very, very upset. He's just distraught, and I cry, and yeah, he cries, but he tries to be strong for everyone.
Let me ask you a question. You had been through some training or early childhood development schooling and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah.
Did you ever receive or go through any kind of like CPR training or anything like that?
I have, yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If you were driving down the road, kids are in the back seat in their car seats, and you're driving down the road, and you witness a car accident, what are you going to do? And there's people that are bloody there at the scene. What are you going to do?
And my kids are with me in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's space for me to pull over, I'd pull over. I would check to see if anyone's responsive, and then I'd call the police so I can let them know what was going on. And if there's something I could do, I'd try it. But I know that if there's any sort of injury that I'm not familiar with, I can't move the body.
Okay, so you know that you can call 911, right?
Yes.
So then why not call 911 immediately when your child's not moving? That's what I don't understand.
I think because it happened to me personally, it was my little girl. I just in shock. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. I was just so never could imagine that could happen.
Jason and I have been doing this a long time, and I understand, and I've seen it time and time again. Everybody deals with stress and reacts to things differently. But if there's one thing that I've seen in the course of doing this job for a long time is there's usually never a hesitation to pick up the phone and call 911. That is a pretty ingrained, rapid, basic, life-saving response that is ingrained in everybody, especially in our country because of our emergency medical system that we have.
When did you first teach your kids about 911? When did you first teach your children about 911?
Less than a year ago.
Okay. So when you're doing CPR, you don't scream to Seth, call 911.
No. And I know that that's like the second step. Or the first step, actually. What?
Did you think by calling 911 that he would think your faith was less?
No, not at all, actually.
Okay.
He called his dad first. Wiping the spit up from her face, and then he went to contact his parents. I don't know how long that took. I was just after she wasn't responding, I was just sitting there rocking her. I don't know for how long. I have no idea for how long. And then after he got off the phone with his dad said, okay, wait until we are close. And then call the police so we can get there at the same time they do. So we can help with anything. I suppose legally.
So, the 2+ hours of time that went by from discovery till 911. All I know, and I'm just asking if you can think of anything else, all I know of is 10 minutes of CPR and sitting on the couch and sweeping the house. Is there any other activity that occurred? Again, some of the stuff is just so weird, we're just trying to make sense of it.
I understand. If I were in your position, I wouldn't understand it either, and I'm having trouble gauging it as well. I spent quite some time just holding her, and just rocking her, and then I put her back down on her bed, and I put her blanket on her, and then I just checked on the kids, make sure they were cleaning the room, and then...
Did you put any additional clothing on her when you put her back in the crib?
No, I didn't.
So what was in the crib is exactly what was in there. You didn't change anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. By clothing, I just assumed you meant what she was wearing on her. That was left on her. I covered her up fully, and I added her little head blanket.
What do you mean you covered her fully? With clothing or a
with
blanket?
a gray blanket.
Okay.
Was that blanket in the crib prior or not?
Yes, up to her knees. I wrap it around her knees down to her feet, just so there's no chance of over the head pulling. And she's never done that before anyway.
And what about this thing that you were talking about, the head pillow or whatever? Where was that
It
at?
was just a comfy blanket. It was on the side on the rocking chair.
So that's the only thing that wasn't in the crib? Was that one?
Yeah. And she had her polar bear in there, but it was by her feet.
So, when you were going through school, Jason was talking about hitting on the CPR and stuff like that. Did you receive, what other kind of like developmental training did you receive getting your education in childhood development?
Physical,
nutrition,
yeah.
all that. What else?
Meal plans. In terms of how much, that's why I should be eating, and I was happy with how much she was eating. She was eating so much. It's like, this is such a surprise to me. And is there an actual condition that prevents weight gain?
Did you ever Google that?
No. Maybe. Maybe I did and I didn't find anything. Because I would probably know, and if a doctor was...
You would have found a lot, I think, if you Googled it. I think you'd have found a lot on that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that you realize too much on WebMD and Google as a parent instead of actually going to a doctor? It's just an opinion question. I'm just curious.
I do.
Because you've kind of brought that up a couple times, and I'm just wondering.
If I replace it.
Yeah, do you kind of try to self-diagnose your children instead of taking them to a doctor? You just look it all up on WebMD and Google and try and figure it out yourself, or?
No, I do that more for myself. The only thing I actually to feed whatever age she was at the time to help her gain more weight. And potatoes, etc.
So when you were going through early childhood development education, was that to be a teacher or a preschool teacher or daycare owner, operator, that store, right?
Yeah, it was to be a preschool teacher.
So I know, I'm sure this was addressed, so what are some of the things they told you to look out for if you did have a student that came to school and had failure to thrive type case?
Not eating.
What physical characteristics?
Thin. Bones.
Like sunken in cheeks? Ribs showing? Thin arms?
Yeah.
Did you see those things in your own child?
So when you went through this education and they told you to look out for that stuff, what was supposed to be your plan of action if you ever saw a child come to school like that?
It's called Child Protective Services.
Because you had a what to report? You'd have a duty, right?
Yes.
Did you, but you didn't help your child?
No. I thought I was helping her by feeding her and nursing her and playing with her.
But 2 to 4 days ago, you knew it was really bad. Tuesday, you knew it was really bad. And so that is what prompted you more than ever to be checking and looking to make sure she wiggles when you move a door, and because of how she looks.
I did it every day regardless.
You did?
That matters.
Okay, yeah, it does matter, absolutely.
Every day, every night.
Nobody, Tatiana, for 1 second, I don't want you to think that anybody is trying to say that you didn't love your child.
No.
Okay? But I am going to be blatantly honest with you. You didn't provide the necessary care for your daughter. You didn't.
Do you think you did?
And we're just trying to figure out why.
Do you think you did right?
It's a very hard question to answer because she's dead. She'll know. I tried. I fed her so
But what
much.
stopped you? Truly, what stopped you?
From what?
From getting her help a month ago. Was it embarrassment? Was it fear? Was it? What was it?
I think it was fear of CPS. I think that I just thought that I was overreacting, and it was just all in my head because I tend to overthink things when it's not necessary, and I just thought there was another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And our other two children are just so healthy, or am I delusional about that too? Like,
I don't know. I
as far as they appear, I mean
What? But here's the difference, though. You just said it right there. You just said it. As far as they appear, but we know it hasn't appeared healthy. So that it's not a delusion. It's an observation that your other two children clearly appear healthy, right? And clearly didn't. That's comparing apples and oranges. So it shows that your observations were working. You weren't delusional. You know that these two appear healthy and this one didn't. So we need to go and get this one fixed. Figure out what's wrong with her.
I don't have more time for her to fill out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this: Did you plan on having each of your children?
No.
No. Oops.
We knew we were having unprotected sex, and we knew we were going to have a baby from it. We just weren't saying, okay, this day we're going to make the child, and she will be born this day.
Right. But
Real.
Tati, I hate to interrupt. We have to step out real quick, though. Can we get you water or anything while We're just gonna fly over real quick and talk to Seth and just
yes,
confirm
of course.
some of the stuff.
I'm sure you guys.
He's probably, he's sitting on ice right now, probably wondering what in the world's going on, so.
Do you need to use the restroom as well?
I suppose I should. It's been quite some time.
All right, just know, we'll get you some water. While you're using the bathroom, I'll walk you to the bathroom, I'll get you some water. Just know that we're gonna be down, so as long as we've been in here with you, you're probably gonna be sitting in here, we're gonna be down there talking to him, so that way at least you're not wondering what's going on, it's just we're talking to him, trying to get his side of this now, okay?
Are we in trouble?
We don't know that. You guys are going home the same way you came. We told you that. You're not being arrested. All we're doing is we're just information gathering. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that, no, you're not in trouble, because I don't know that yet. This whole case has to still be reviewed. There's a whole process that has to go through. Hey, put her letter down real quick. We're going to get another detective in here to escort you down there real quick, okay? Just because it's a secured facility, Larry's there. All right. So Seth basically said the same thing you said. Except for Seth, that he did say that you'd have to strap him and his family down to the table before a doctor could touch you guys. You don't agree with that? You don't have that same belief?
I do for the most part, like, except for if somebody had a broken leg, he tends to be a bit dramatic. He grew up reading Shakespeare.
Oh,
that
yeah.
helps. Maybe you can tell.
Yeah. He's a smart guy, though.
Very.
Yeah.
And he's very passionate and dramatic, so I'm not surprised he said that, but,
So he said that his mom, starting about a month ago, has been telling him, I don't know if she's told you, that child needs some medical care.
Yes, she has.
How many times has she told him that?
I don't know how many times she's told him.
How many times has she told you that?
Once that I can remember.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
About a month ago.
Okay.
When we last saw her.
Now he said that she was just at your house, not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before that. Yeah.
Oh. Maybe, because we went to Golden Corral, so it could have been a few days before that, and he could be mixing Sundays up.
Okay.
But it was definitely within the month. It's just, dates are a little...
So within the last... She was at your house?
Yeah, and she still insisted on...
She still insisted on it. How many times did she insist on it?
It was once that... I only recall one time. It could have been twice sometimes, because I may have brushed it off the first time she mentioned it. She's like, oh no, we're not going to the doctor. Just...
So that first time that you may have brushed off would have been how long ago?
I do recall, actually, when we went to her house. While she was eating, and then asked if I thought about the doctor. I told her, no, we're not worried about it, we're just praying about it. She said, okay. Well, her cheeks are looking fuller, so at least there's that. Keep on feeding her.
She was saying that because of her weight.
Yes.
Have you discussed her weight with you before?
I only recall that being the first real time.
Okay. When was the second time?
When she came to visit. Within the month. It says it was the Sunday before last. It may have been, and we could have went to Golden Corral the Sunday before.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And what did she say that time?
She suggested, instead of asked, if we were going to, she suggested that we noted that her cheeks are redder and fuller, so thought that she was taking her food well.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to try to get you guys out of here right now. I'm just going to step out and talk to him real quick and just make sure we don't have more follow-up questions so we don't have to keep bothering you tonight. So let me just take a couple minutes with him, and we'll be right back with you, okay?
I did use the restroom already. I'm sorry. I really had to go.
Oh, no, that's our mistake. We asked someone that was in there, and he did this to us, and he must have forgotten about it.
Oh, that's fine.
That's our mistake.
Okay.
Steph's going to come in here and sit with you. It's going to be a couple minutes. One of my partners is going to run you guys home for me, okay? Because he's working late already.
I left my salad in the back of your car, I'm sorry.
You left your what?
My salad, it's just garbage.
That's all right. You don't need it? I'll throw it away. It's okay. So I'll, you just a couple minutes, okay?
Okay.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
How you doing? Happy that I'm with you now.
Me too. Did you talk to your parents at all while you were waiting? What's going on?
Yeah, we're... Because we're such bad parents. Not even allowed to talk to them.
Took so long asking me all about the kids, all three of their birth, weight, height, and eating habits, and developmental skills, and early, including her pee and poop. And then I think that was a distraction, because right after that I was just like, why did it take you so long to call? I just kept berating with that and wouldn't even let me answer.
So you told him what?
To call the police after finding out.
I told you like 6 times. I was waiting for the lawyer to be there because we knew that this would happen.
Which I told them we were waiting for. I did say your parents, but I said lawyers. And they were just, then what'd you do while you were waiting? I called off work. We slept. And I sat and cried.
Then look good, baby. Their job is to fill cells. It's their job. So they can fill 2 cells right now. And that's...
Maybe they were angry. Like it sounded like they were trying. I don't know if this is movie mind, but like separate us.
That's what they're doing. Trying to drive a wedge in between and then hope somebody accuses the other one. That's why they came at you first. Because they know they can tell by looking at me.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna do shit to me. So if I'm making them break down and accuse you, me is who they're looking for. We go home and we get really baked, and I really like to not talk about it at all anymore today.
Okay.
It's so terrible. Can't ever do this again. We at least gotta take her. There's problems. We gotta take him to the doctor at least to see.
Okay. Yep.
Well, that I don't know. That's about. I was counting down. It's hilarious. I think they must have heard me on the phone. Because I told my mom at 7:30, I'm getting up out of here. Getting us out of here. And that was exactly when they came through the door to come talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'll wait till 7:30, but we're not under arrest. Not being charged. I'm here under my own compulsion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm free to go. So.
Your parents are still down?
No, they went home. They had to go meet with a CPS worker in Grand Haven.
Oh wow. Are the kids with them?
Yeah.
And I was just about to walk over there when he said, hey, come on down here. So I was going to be like, oh, he said 5 minutes. It's going to be another 2 hours. And, you know, he had me put my phone outside the door.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and I went out and I got it. I can let you just hold me in here indefinitely, but with my permission while leaving me communication with.
I saw like papers in the bottle cap and the lighters out there. Cause they told me to have some escort me to the bathroom, and it was like 20, 30 minutes. I really had to go. So I just opened the door and I went to that.
They're trying to make you seem a lot more like a prisoner than you really are. Right now, you're here under your own compulsion in an unlocked room.
Yeah.
There's really not much they can do if we wanted to walk out right now. We're doing this as a show. And not even for them, but for probably when we have to go up in front of a judge. It's all they want. They want a charge. They want somebody. There's got to be money involved. There's got to be a financial transactions. It's like you can't just bury a dead body. You gotta pay somebody. There's gotta.
That was the worst case they've ever seen. They were making me feel like shit. And they were like, we know you're involved. We know you're a good person. But this is the worst case we've ever seen. Like, what are you doing to your guy?
I don't know what to tell you. You know, like it wasn't jump full of growth hormones and steroids. I'm sorry, you know. You think I'm happy about it?
These are authentic.
Yeah, they were kind of like pushing me about the whole doctor thing. I was like, you know what the #1 leading cause of death in this country is? They were only in there with me for about like 10 minutes.
Was it?
They were trying to squeeze you and get you to say something, but I did something.
Well, it didn't work. That's probably why they were in here for me so long. Soundproof.
So they took my phone too.
They have it right now.
Mm-hmm. And tomorrow's Friday, great. So Friday weekend.
Light a bright light.
Should have told me.
Really interested on me getting it.
Huh?
They're really interested on me getting it. I'd like to know where it is. And for you.
Dang. You're treating this like it's a murder case, man. It's an accident. I don't know what was putting somebody in jail gonna do. It's gonna fill a cell. That's what they're here to do. For-profit prison corporations.
Who?
Somebody. And I said, you haven't spoken to him then. He may have been shy, but he hasn't interacted with anybody, so he wasn't interacted with to be verbal.
Just put me on fucking trial. I'll put the whole system on. I'll put the whole system on trial. Put me on trial. You don't know who you're fucking with.
Right. Especially a big sister teaching you words. I'm excited.
So you gotta understand with cops, they're not really like, they're just trying to get somebody to confess to a crime. That's all they're trying to do. They don't care if they lie. They don't care how they make it. They don't care. So you just don't take it personally. You just, yep, whatever. I don't care what you think.
I like to put us together.
That was nice.
Probably listening to people we say each other.
Probably. I don't care. The thing is, they want something so bad, but they don't want to have anything. They could get negligent, probably negligent and child endangerment at best. Which, have fun. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried to go into court about that with my mom.
Okay.
I'm not.
Pro bono case for your mom.
Just doesn't bother me. I don't want to, but I'm also not from. It's not something that. Some sort of murder. Oh goodness. I don't want to worry.
Do I think that God told you? Oh no, if God told you to murder one of our children, would I let you do it? That would never happen. Why would you even ask me that? It's like, just saying, I know that's pulling you for some believer too. It's like, that's not a cool. No, next.
Yeah, they try to push the religious extremist angle with me too.
Super.
They're looking for somebody to say something crazy. They're looking for the crazy. That's what they're looking for. Yeah. They're looking for their way in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can also tell you think I'm a total dumbass.
Yeah.
They're just here to help, Tati.
Okay.
Just remember that they're just here to help.
Keep remembering that.
Well, I tell you, if you didn't say it so much, I'd maybe believe you. Who are you trying to convince?
Did he give you water?
Yeah. Yeah, I was not going to let us sit in these rooms all night without calling my mom and seeing what I could do. Sorry, guys. We're just trying to make sure we have all the paperwork and everything that we need to get you guys out of here. I already did a form like this with your husband, so I'm going to go over it with you. Your phone was back at the house, and we collected that as part of our search warrant back at your house. So there's two ways that we can go through your phone, okay? I can either get you to sign a consent form, or I can get a search warrant signed by a judge to go through it. So it's completely up to you. If you are willing to sign a consent form, I have a form here that I can go over with you and allow you to read, and if you're willing to, we can do that. So it's up to you.
I don't mind signing it. I'm just curious as to why you need to go through that. It's just wondering.
So part of any investigation, most everybody has a cell phone on them, and we would just be looking at communication, verifying timelines as far as when he called his dad, and if there was any text message conversations between you guys regarding the well-being of your daughter. And it's just that stuff, just to verify that everything is on the up and up. Okay? T-A-T-I-N-A?
After the I is A-N-A.
T-I-A-N-A. What was your middle name again?
Elena, E-L-E-N-A.
And your birthday? Let's mess that up. If you just want to read that real quick, and then if you're okay with that, just sign right there. What I'll do is, like I told Seth this already, I'm going to try and get both of your phones then over to the lab first thing in the morning, and I will get them back to you, because all they're going to do is image it, and then I can give your phone back, and then they basically put the information from the phone on a disk, and then I can go through it at a later time. So we try to get people their phones back as quick as we can, so it's not like I'm going to be holding on to this for months, okay? Or even weeks. Is there a passcode on your phone?
No.
No? Okay.
Unlock it.
Okay. All right. We had some car shuffling going on around. The guy that's actually going to give you a ride is my sergeant that was in talking with you guys here with me.
Okay.
So I think he's just grabbing his keys and we're going to get you out of here. Okay?
Where they came in, was it stinky?
Just lay on the floor. Just here to help. She looked like shit when she was dead too. She was so gone. No, I'm not trying to get. I'm just saying that's why. That's one of the reasons why I have such a bad picture of her. Dude, she looked so bad.
On the phone and the dates and stuff.
And they won't. They'll just.
Yeah, right.
They believe what they saw.
He showed me a picture of her. It didn't look real. I mean, she was dead overnight, and then she was sitting there all day dead, and then they're gonna take that?
Of course.
I mean, this room at like 80 degrees.
Of course. Cook ya. Get nice and uncomfortable. Yeah, when I was talking to them in the car, they really wanted me to have Shake and her and us in anger. That's really what they were going for.
They asked me to give her name right now. did he cry? Yeah. He was crying before. Good question. He cried in the meeting.
Let's try not to think about it and her in this just for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Just for tonight. Please just try to wipe it away. It's been torture all day.
Yeah.
If I get those phones done, like later tomorrow, do you think that you'll be at home? Mm-hmm. You won't be at your parents in Grand Haven or anything, so. No. So if I just drive, because I'm not going to have a way to call you guys, so if I just come up there, you guys will be there? Yep. Okay. All right.
Well, I have a day off tomorrow.
Do you have a day off anyway? You can probably take the rest of the week off or something. No, I know. I'm just, what a mess. What a mess.
I can't tell if we can go for another day or two.
Yeah, everything's just 2 minutes and 5 minutes and just grabbing. He'll toughen himself up without eye-holding him out. Don't know where God is or why on this one, Tati, I'll tell you what. Sure some awards I get for my service. Sorry, I need to stop. It's a little tiring sometimes. When? Oh, when you went to go get the clothes?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
She's getting married. He is the father for 2 children.
Oh, okay, good.
They've been together 10 years. She said she would. Got back together.
Good.
Yeah. He's still a little quiet about his walk, but she's encouraging him. Her father lives 3 miles away, but is very hateful towards him. 10 years ago, he was upset about that still, and the child. 10 years ago. So she's just praying that he'll forgive and come to the wedding. She had a great setup in the backyard for all the kids. She had 6 kids there.
At least they left us the truck. Well, there's a ticket on the windshield.
Great.
I might actually have some respect for them. So I was telling my mom, I was like, how many dipshit cops could be standing around an expired license plate tag and not even notice?
Yeah, they went all out if they put a ticket on there. It's weird. Yeah, we hope there's no traffic. Gotta be like over out. You're all scared. Can't keep moving.
Yeah, I tried to get him before anybody showed up. I figured they'd probably kill him too. Alright, can we get out of here? You can have to bring me for a ride down here. They probably if they got you alone in a room and let you sit for a couple hours. They let you sit for a while before they came in and talk to you, or they pretty much come right in.
No, I let me sit for just 20 minutes at most, not very long.
They're in here with you for a while.
Yeah, because they were like distracting with specific time, detail, eating and pooping habits from like birth to now, and the kids developmentally and cognitively and physically. It's all fooding. Not confusing, like how they were doing.
You can't care what people like think of you or stuff, because if you do, you'll get trapped and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're just trying to butter you up.
You guys set for today? You guys ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'll give you a ride back up there.
Thank you.
You want another cup or anything, or?
No.
Okay.
You alright?
I'm not sure too long.
911, what's your emergency?